Welcome to the Expositor Podcast with Dr. Stephen J. Lawson. Dr. Lawson is the founder and president of One Passion Ministries. The Expositor Podcast is focused on taking your preaching to the next level. Now, here's Dr. Lawson.
In preaching, delivery is very important. Obviously, the substance of what we have to say is most important. Truth is king and reigns in our preaching. But how we deliver this truth is also important. No one likes to eat cold scrambled eggs. The way something is served is important. So I want to walk through some things just for you to think about in your delivery, how to improve it. I've got 10 things. Number one, clarity. Clarity cannot be overrated. People need to understand what you are saying. They need to be able to follow you. You need to be a linear thinker and not a circular thinker. Structure, development of thought, pronouncing your words correctly. All of this is an important part of delivery. Second, passion. When you're excited about something, it causes others to be excited about it. When you're bored, other people will tend to be bored. Passion is contagious. It spreads from the pulpit to the pew. There needs to be a fire in your bones. There needs to be a holy enthusiasm for what you are preaching and what you are saying, because it helps convey to the listener the importance of what you're preaching. Third is eye contact. I think one of the greatest hindrances in sermon delivery is just staring at your notes and not looking up at the people to whom you are speaking. We call those kind of preachers a bubble preacher. It's like they're in a bubble. It's like they're in a sound booth and they're almost in another room. They're disconnected from the people to whom they are speaking. Eye contact is critically important. It helps make connection with the people that you're speaking to. Fourth, proper tone. The tone, the warmth, the volume with which you speak is very important, and it needs to be appropriate for the setting. There are all different settings in which we preach. There's Sunday morning, there's Sunday night, there's Wednesday night, there's Sunday school, there's a men's discipleship group, there's an elders or a deacons meeting. Each of those have a setting that influences the tone with which we speak, the distance from the pulpit to the first pew, to the back pew. I have a certain tone when I speak to 5,000 people in a national conference. I have a different tone if I'm speaking to 50 people in a more intimate setting. This is a part of effective delivery, to be conscious of your setting. Fifth, and this really overlaps, but to vary your tone. Vary your volume. In other words, you just can't be loud for 45 minutes, though I often am, I'll have to admit. But you just can't go immediately up to 36,000 feet and just stay there for an hour and then just end the message. That's like if I had a yellow highlighter and highlighting my sermon notes, that every word in my sermon notes is highlighted in yellow. Well, therefore, nothing stands out. And if you're just loud the whole time, nothing really stands out. So there needs to be peaks and valleys and loud and soft. In fact, some of the most dramatic things that you will say may be when you lower your voice. So that's a part of effective delivery. Proper gestures. You are speaking not only with your voice, but also with your hands. How you use your hands in the pulpit with gesturing is critically important. You can't stand there with your hands in your pocket. You can't stand there with a death grip on the pulpit. There needs to be a freedom with your hands. There needs to be also a diversity or variety of the kind of gestures that you use. You cannot stand there for 45 minutes and every gesture is the tomahawk gesture, or the first down gesture, or every gesture is the touchdown gesture. There needs to be thought given to how do you use your hands. And then seventh, be natural. You've got to be yourself. You can't be an echo chamber for another preacher and so trying to imitate their delivery that now it's unnatural for you. Almost like you become a different person when you step into the pulpit, and when you step out, you go back to being yourself. You've got to be you with your temperament, your personality, your IQ as you speak. Eighth, synonyms. Vary your vocabulary. Do not be repeating yourself continually. There is a point of diminishing return as you use certain vocabulary words. And after you've used a word, I'm just going to guess a number here, 4 or 5 times, it begins to lose its effect. It could be after 2 or 3 times. Certainly within one sentence and within one paragraph, I try to use synonyms and to layer out my synonyms where some words are accessible to teenagers, some to blue-collar workers, some to professionals, though you're saying the same thing on different levels. Here's something important, number 9, to vary the moods of your verbs. By that I mean there's the indicative mood, which is a statement of fact. There's the imperative mood, the sentence with a question mark. You're asking a question. The imperative mood, which is a commanding sentence. The exclamatory mood, the sentence with an exclamation point at the end. Even as I'm writing my sermon manuscript, I'm consciously aware of thinking about shifting the moods from indicative to interrogative to imperative to exclamatory. And I may not even be looking down at my notes as I'm standing in the pulpit, but I'm trying to train myself to speak in ways where I'm not stuck in one gear. So many preachers are just stuck in the indicative mood. Statement of fact, 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 statement of fact. And their preaching becomes very monotone. It's in a rut. It becomes really just a data dump. And shifting the moods of your verbs will help you become a more interesting speaker. And then 10th and finally, energy. You need energy in the pulpit, and that's closely related to passion. But there needs to be a dynamic about your voice, your eyes, your gestures, your countenance, that you're alive, you're awake, you're not tired, you're not listless, but that you are full of the Holy Spirit and you are engaged in the delivery of this sermon. So you need to have energy and make sure you had enough sleep the night before. Make sure that you've had a proper breakfast. Make sure if you're a coffee drinker that you've drunk coffee. Whatever it is that has even you physically energetic and peppy, then you need to be following that path. So your sermon delivery is very important, and it's really what distinguishes you often from another preacher who believes the very same thing, has the same doctrine, the same theology. It's just that one man can deliver it in a more powerful way. Think about your delivery and how you can improve it. God bless you.